Greetings, YouTube. I would like to say it's a happy Friday, but it's just been overwhelming to receive all of the negative feedback regarding the arena changes from so many summoners, particularly you summoners who have a good roster, but you don't have the best roster. What I mean by that is maybe you've got a couple of rank 5, 65, 5 stars. Heck, maybe you even have a couple rank 2, 6 stars. But in terms of longevity for the arena, you normally lean on your rank 1 6 stars and the 5-star featured, and certainly your rank 3 and even rank 2 5 stars in not only the 5-star featured arena, but the 4-star featured arena. Now, I want to be clear that every time the prestige of champions rosters goes up, the algorithm in the 5-star featured goes up with it. So, for example, before 6 stars came to rank 2, when they just came out at rank 1, it was pretty easy to avoid a death match, which is a match that's about 4 times the PI of your defenders, if you kept your team at or above 12,000 combined PI overall. So we're talking about 3 champs, whether they're 4 stars, 5 stars, etc., who have about 4,000 PI. Well, when 6 stars went to rank 2, that increased to about 4,500 apiece, or 13,500. And then when 6 stars went to rank 3, that increased to about 15,000 total, or if you have champions that are at 5,000 to 6,000, that could trigger a deathmatch. That is just how the algorithm is coded. We've seen that over time. It is not a shock when it happens. It will go up again when 6 stars have the ability, hopefully not anytime soon, to go to rank 4. But this weekend, with these new arena changes, which are supposed to be gifts and blessings that have turned into nightmares, you're seeing the 4-star featured arena, an arena that is unaffected by the PI prestige shifts of 6 stars because you aren't allowed to use 6 stars in the 4-star featured arena, only 3 stars, 4 stars, and 5 stars. You've seen that arena just butcher people with triggering death matches with rank 5, 65, 5 stars that are double or more of the PI of your champions when you bring in, say, 3 rank 3s that have a combined PI of over 21,000. We're talking about 7,000 apiece. Doesn't matter. It's triggered. So Kabam Mike, in the past 24 hours, came out and said that it turns out that the infinite streak in the arena is a bug, and they know that's been a bug for a long time, but they have now fixed it. And so their justification is they've made the arena better by not having these terrible matchups of fighting teams that are 4 times the PI of your champs. Well, but it's just as bad in a lot of ways if you're fighting people that have 2 times or more PI than the teams you throw out there. For example, we know that there are a lot of trash 6 stars in the game. Let's say that I have a rank 1 6-star arena team in the 5-star featured arena of Unawakened, Abomination, King Groot, and Groot. 3 people that suck to fight with, and they're going to be a little bit boring and maybe sometimes even stressful just when you're fighting defenders that have a similar PI. Let's say that they're all around 8,000 PI. Well, now, if you're asking your King Groot to fight a 19,500 Doctor Doom, and you're asking your Abomination to fight a 20,000 rated Nick Fury, could you win those fights? Sure. Is it going to be stressful? Heck yeah. Do you have any margin for error? Absolutely not. And so the end desire is to just say, well, I'm just not going to use those champions because I don't want to trigger death matches. And those death matches, those new death matches, which are defined by matches that are 2 times or higher of your overall PI. So you brought an 8,000 champion in, and you're fighting a 16,000 PI. It's just so much work. It's not worth it. And the arena is already a chore. So while Kabam has said that they're looking to tweak things, they've also said, and they've made it quite clear, that this could be the new normal, which has led to this screenshot right here that we're about to go through. Because D. Jones filed a help ticket just trying to get an explanation from Kabam, not from the forums, not like Kabam Mike, just to see what they would say. And here is what they responded. Thanks for reaching out to us with this report of some arena fights being more challenging than expected. With the various rewards available through those arenas, I definitely get your desire to earn them in a time-efficient manner by keeping those streaks. As you're likely aware, arena matchups will become increasingly difficult as your streak grows higher. That is traditionally not true. When somebody says that, they clearly have never actually fought in the arena. It will become very difficult once you get to up to a point of win streak of 15 or 20. But after that, as long as you keep your combined PI above 15,000 or 18,000 in the 5-star featured and maybe above 12 to 13,000 in the 4-star featured, you're good. You're going to be fighting easy to medium difficult matchups with PI, most importantly, that's around or lower than the champions you're bringing in. So when I read this sentence, I think, well, these people have never actually fought in the arena, because if they did, they wouldn't say this. Additionally, opponents tend to become stronger over time due to more summoners increasing the power of their own rosters. Now, that is true in a reflection of the way that death matches are traditionally triggered with the combined PI of your champions. What might work to establish a streak at one point might not work several months later, for instance. Again, that's true, but not in the context that this person is framing it. With all this in mind, the details provided do seem to be within what we'd expect to see, and we appreciate the chance to share the above context. That's just, PR speak, essentially. I'm happy I could share this information and clear things up with you. Now, he did respond, and he was pretty blunt. I will skip that response, but I do want to just show a couple of examples of things that are now the norm. When I talk about doubling the PI of champions in an arena, you're bringing in rank 1 6-stars, Luke Cage, Hulkbuster, Deadpool, X-Force, and you're triggering Sunspot, Gladiator Hulk, and Corvus, like what happened with Roxas 84. Now, to be clear, as I've said in other videos, these fights are not impossible. In fact, I think he actually got pretty lucky with these 3 compared to the ones I keep triggering, which are Nick Fury, Annihilus, and Dr. Doom at 20,000 PI. And for whatever reason, some of these fights, you think, okay, well, at least they're 20,000 PI, so they're going to have suicides turned on, and so I can just bait, especially somebody like Dr. Doom, a special one, over and over again, and hell, kill himself with recoil damage. But some of these people, they have 19,000 PI, and somehow no recoil, no suicides, but they do have willpower, so if you put a debuff on them, they're going to heal back more than the damage you're taking, so it becomes just this really terrible nightmare, lost some gain, if you will, from the experience. So rank 1 6-stars, particularly those like these on screen that are below 10,000 PI, 2 out of 3 of these are below 8,000, you're going to be triggering this just about every time. And then it's not just about 6 stars. Let's look at the 5 stars, where here you can see Iceman, Quake, and Sunspot, rank 4 55s for Darth Steven. All great champions, but now you're fighting champs with the PI at 18,990, 18,030, and 21,000. And these are all rank 3, level 45, 6 stars. And so Kabam Mike is saying, well, you're not going to be fighting defenders that are 4 times your rating. Well, you might be fighting defenders that are about 3 times, and that's still not the goal. People have teased me, and understandably, for years, that I spend too much time in the arena, that you grind away your soul, that you need to get outside more, and it is a necessary evil and a boring one when you want to save money and not have to actually spend money on units. And so I don't think it's necessarily a coincidence at the same time, the same weekend, that all of these unit loaders have finally gotten hit. And not just unit loaders, I'm hearing from a ton of people who claim to be free to play, and that's an entire mystery in a different video in itself. But the same weekend that they're cracking down on people saving maybe 30% on Odins, they're also making it harder for free-to-play players, and especially those of you out there who maybe are casual spinners, but you don't have the biggest rosters because you can't afford to just take 5 stars to rank 5 every week. They're making it more difficult for you to actually get units through the arena. I will say, I do all arenas. So far, the 3-star featured and the 4-star basic seem unaffected by this, at least from my experience. Now, I usually do use max 4 stars once I get to win streak of 5, and all my 3 stars are maxed. So that is the disclaimer on that. And I haven't done the 2-star arena yet, but I'd imagine that's probably pretty much unaffected. But the 4-star featured and the 5-star featured have been decimated by this new algorithm. So I hope and I pray that all the people in the content creator program and those who have the power to get through to Kabam will urge them to return the system to what it was. They are saying, essentially, that we are going to trade off the easeability and the relaxability of the infinite streak so that AI is suddenly more aggressive, which to my final point. The AI is not always more aggressive. I don't know what they're talking about. I am trying to bait specials in some of these 5-star featured fights and 4-star featured fights, and it will not do it. But here's what's even worse. Yes, the AI before was passive, but it was so passive, it was like stupid. So it would get to a special 3, and it would almost forget what a special attack is, and it would just not fire anything. So it would have a full 3 bars of power for like 30 seconds, and I'd think, wow, does the AI know they could fire a special 3 at any moment? I guess not. Now that all of these champions are hard defenders, the second they go to a special 3, they are triggered and programmed to fire it off. So if you're asking me, would I rather have quote-unquote aggressive hard AI that occasionally throws a special 3 or special 2 or special 1, instead of a special 3? Or the dumb AI that maybe will fire a special 3 every once in a while, but it's not going to be 2 or 3 times the PI of what I'm used to fighting? I'll take the dumb AI every time and just take my chances in those fights that normally trigger the death matches. What are your thoughts on this, YouTube? I still can't believe Kabam, once again, can call something a bug like Kabam Mike did and say, well, it's been around for 5 years, but now we've cleaned it up. It just creates this distrust in the community where you can enjoy something that's temporary because at any moment Kabam can be like, well, it was never intended to be that case in the first place. Well, this game is in a place that 5 years later wasn't intended probably to where it was in the beginning. But if something's working for your community and you know it's benefiting players and keeping the happiness and the health of the community stable, which, by the way, these changes are supposed to help the health of the game, not hurt it, then why would you tweak it to hurt the player base? It's just going to tick people off at a time where you're supposed to be basically coddling them, essentially, because you know that your biggest payday left of the year is right around the corner, and that's Cyber Weekend, which is also another mystery about how the whales are getting hit, to where maybe they're trying to entice them to clear those accounts back to 0 before Cyber Weekend. But from what I can understand behind the scenes, that ain't happening. It'll be the opposite. They'll just ask for a bunch of refunds through their credit cards and bank and really turn this into a gigantic mess. Thanks for watching, YouTube. Have a good one. We'll be talking about this with more videos later on, but it's time to end this one here.